Once again, it's on. Robin Lundberg back with you here on the Robin Lundberg Show, Robin Lundberg channel. Thanks to you guys, we had like well over 1 million views the last 28 days. Thanks to you guys and Caitlin Clark, 1.3 million views and counting so far. And I share those numbers for a reason. Because when you are actually looking at hold on, do I have the right mic plugged in? Oh no, hold on, let me fix this real quick. I'm on the Mac mic right now. I just came in from a run. Sorry. Scrambling. That better? Anyhow, I just came in from a run. I was running backwards up a hill. But nonetheless, I wanted to preach some optimism here today. Because I've seen so much negativity, and I did one of these shows before, and that was before the Olympic thing. It's like a cycle, right? Because it was, what was it? The Kennedy Carter thing? Yeah, it was the Kennedy Carter thing 2 weekends ago. And that had everybody going like for a whole week. And then it calmed down, right? And after that, it was like finally calm. Caitlin Clark has the big day against the Mystics on a Friday night. And it's like, yeah, we're back, baby. And then in the middle of the night, of course, the Olympic news drops. I remember rolling over in bed and seeing that. And I was like, oh, here we go again. And then sure enough, it's a whole week of from every which way and direction. But you have to remember, it must be said definitively, that is not real. None of that is real. That is people on TV. That is people online. That is people looking for engagement. Those are people who are, like I said, basically carnival barkers. Yes, there is some of it. I'm not saying there's nothing to it, or, there's no basis to those stories unfolding the way that they did. I'm saying they are not actually representative of the greater whole here and what's actually going on, the real story. Look, if everybody hated what was happening and what was going on, y'all wouldn't be flooding this channel, right? Y'all wouldn't be flooding this channel. The numbers on this channel would not be going in the direction that they're going. The WNBA numbers would not be what they are. Look at this. I mean, this is from Robert Littell, who runs the BSO account. But, I mean, this is testament to Caitlin Clark's drawing power. They're responsible for 33.5% of the total WNBA attendance this season thus far. A third of the WNBA attendance is due to Caitlin Clark. So I promise you, as I've said before, Caitlin Clark is very, very popular with every demographic, with everybody: black, white, straight, gay, male, female. And when you look at the numbers for the WNBA as a whole, look at this. First month attendance is up 156% from last year, highest in 26 years. They're averaging 1.3 million viewers. The NBA averaged 1.6 million, meaning the average WNBA game has been close to the average NBA game this season. Online sales stores up 756%, 157 million video views on social media in a week. Those are not imaginary numbers. Those are indicative of interest and people caring and people being interested and people liking what they're seeing and people gravitating toward the product. Not. And Caitlin Clark was out doing a charity event for Habitat for Humanity, right? Like, she was out doing that. and she pulled a Billy Madison on a little kid. I did a video about it earlier, but you can go check that out. But here it is. This is from I don't want to mispronounce her last name, but this is her account, just so you can want to get the credit where it's due. Bree Lewerke, I want to say. Like I said before, who says Caitlin Clark doesn't play defense? Now you're all in big, big trouble. Right? And then I don't know if you saw the Angel Reese thing, with the little girl. Was that not the cutest thing you ever seen? That's the cutest thing I ever seen in my life. Do you think those kids are hearing anything about this nonsense you see on your screens? You think that's happening? Look at this.
Okay, my plan is to get Angel Reese to touch my sweater. Perfect. Now I'm never going to watch this ever again. And I'm going to rub it all over my sweatshirt.
That is the cutest thing I ever seen. All these little young fans. Again, I wore this shirt on purpose, not just because it was sitting on the chair over there and I just came in from the run, but I wore this shirt because I went to the Liberty game with my daughter, Ronnie, who's, by the way, last night, Ronnie and I were outside. Guess what she was working on? Her jumper. Ronnie buckets. Her big brother can really shoot the ball. Raj is a shooter. But I'm outside working with Ronnie on her jump shot after she saw the game. And what did we see at the game? We saw a bunch of jerseys, a bunch of Caitlin Clark jerseys, number 22, bunch of little girls. I saw people from Iowa. I saw people who drove up from South Carolina. I saw people who lived in New York with the Caitlin Clark jerseys. I also saw a bunch of Liberty jerseys. I also saw a bunch of those. And guess what I didn't hear? Anyone saying, I don't like her because she's straight and white. Or I, hate her because she's not a black lesbian. I didn't hear that anywhere. Didn't happen. No words of those things such were spoken. Like, she took a hard foul. It was debated. It happened. She didn't get on the Olympic team. Dubious, perhaps, because of the old guard. I don't know. Not the end of the world. Life shall go on. Life shall go on. And you see the data. You cannot ignore. We are living in a unique moment, in a historic moment in time. Not only did she impact college to the point where the women outrated the men. And by the way, I'm not so sure the women don't surpass the men going forward in college basketball. I think that could really happen because college basketball on the men's side is broken, completely shattered and broken. There are the transfer portal is going on. By the way, we got a couple hundred people in here again. The transfer, and I didn't even put a controversial, I put a positive thing. So I'm glad everybody came with the positivity. The transfer portal, people are leaving. The best talent is one and done. You don't get that continuity. Like, who on the men's side is Cooper Flagg's going into college next year, so maybe him, but in general, who on the men's side is a bigger star than Paige Beckers or Juju Watkins? How many men's coaches are as big as Dawn Staley and Kim Mulkey and Gino Auriemma? 18 million people watched the women's national championship game last year. 14 million the men. The Final Four as a whole outrated the men. Now, that, of course, that's Caitlin Clark, and I expect it to come down. But that doesn't mean it's going to go down to where it was. And the same thing goes with the WNBA. Yeah, will it stay at this height that it had? The Fever have to be better for them to stay at that height. But even if it comes down, when it comes down, it's going to be above where it was. As Jay-Z once said, even if I fall, I'm going to land on a bunch of money. Because the floor has been raised. Like, you would have never in a million years thought that WNBA games would even be approaching the level of NBA games. And I have to say this for the billionth time. Everybody likes Caitlin Clark. She's become this figure for people to use at their convenience. They on one side, they can use her to be like, this is them holding us traditionals down for their wokeism. And on the other side, they could say, this shows you what white privilege is like. Right? Like, that's exactly what's happening. But that's not the casual viewer. That's not what people are coming to the games for. That's not what people are watching for. That's not what people are watching for. And y'all are trying to hit me with the numbers. I know what the numbers are. The Final Four as a whole outrated the men as a whole when you include the championship game and the Final Fours. The national championship game outrated the men. It did. The WNBA, the Liberty, I think it was a Liberty and Sun game from last weekend, did 1 million viewers. Caitlin Clark wasn't there. So, yes, this is what I don't understand about the most ardent Caitlin Clark supporters. You want it to only be her? Her impact goes down if it's only her. Her legacy goes down if it's only her. Her legacy rises if she is the catalyst for the explosion in the game. Because to me, Caitlin Clark is Michael Jordan when it comes to generational impact on a sport, and she's LeBron James when it comes to driving debate. People have talked about LeBron freaking James every day on every show for 20 years. 15. I would say, at least since the decision in 2010. Every freaking day. Said all sorts of nonsense. His kid had a heart attack and almost died, and people criticize him. So when you saw LeBron come to her defense, it's because he knows what the hell he's talking about. And all this is nonsense. It's all nonsense. So, just wanted to make sure I got that off my chest. Because overwhelmingly, this is a positive story. Overwhelmingly, this is something to be celebrated. Overwhelmingly, this is a good thing. Just because you see some talking heads on a screen here and there saying otherwise does not mean that's reflective. I mean, you have here's a good example. What did Carrington say? Dejanay Carrington, who did the little head motion, who cares? The most minor thing I've ever seen in my life, and people were acting upset about that. Has anybody ever watched a sport before in their life? She mocked Caitlin Clark for a half second on the court. Who cares? Who cares? Look at this. Here you go. Look at this Dejanay Carrington. This is exactly what I'm talking about. She's responding to this person who has an American flag in his avatar, and his title is Bubble Bath Girl. And he writes, Caitlin Clark was targeted by black players again Monday, this time in Connecticut. Sun guard Dejanay Carrington violently checked Clark, then mocked her after a blatant foul. The crowd booed. If races were reversed, Carrington would have been ejected. You don't see this as an engagement scammer? Clear as day. That's not a Caitlin Clark fan. That's not a Caitlin Clark fan. That's an opportunist. That's what that is. It's not a Caitlin Clark. And then, Dejanay responds appropriately. Be for freaking real, Paul. First of all, it wasn't a hard foul. Did she mock her for a second? Yeah, she mocked her for a half second. That happens in sports all the time. Who cares? Oh, man. That was fun. Let me see if I can get through some of the chats now. Welcome, everybody. We're almost at, we're up over 500 views already. Somebody's calling me an opportunist. I mean, look, have I ever lied to y'all? This person, PP, an opportunist like you. Am I lying to y'all? When I started talking about Caitlin Clark and this story, I got more viewers. And that's the truth. I told you that. It chose me. But I am approaching it honestly and rationally. And yeah, would I like to have views on my YouTube channel? Yes. What am I, an idiot? Would I like a bigger following for my media career? Yeah. Am I selling my soul to do it? No. Am I lying to you? No. My man, AJ Schreiber, super chat. Looking forward to going to my first two Sky games, 6:30 and 8:25. So June 30th and August 25th. Never thought I'd be excited for something like that. And AJ wrote it in which games are you going to? He's not going to a Caitlin Clark game. He's going to see the Lynx and the Aces. Good games. Kevin Zwicker says, welcome new subs. Shout out to the old heads of the show. I don't know if I'm doing a stream tomorrow. I kind of like the cadence of these 3 a week, and I don't want to overdo it. But if you guys want to do a members-only show planning meeting, I might be down to do that. I mean, look, there's a chance I do one, but just a heads up, I might not do a stream tomorrow. I'll be back on Monday because I like the way that worked last week. I also don't want to do a watch-along tomorrow, and I'll do a reaction video to the game tomorrow night. But for the OG fans and the members of the WWR, I would like to, eventually huddle up with you guys and talk about what you think would be the best way to continue the growth of the show in the way that I've done it, while also, satisfying some of my other interests and the OG fans as well. And if you like, being a part of a production meeting like that, let me know. Let me know. Basil, this person, faulty 241. Again, if the talking heads don't matter in regard to Clark, why do they matter in regards to the LeBron James discussion? It's an example of it not mattering. That's the point. LeBron James is a generational athlete and figure who's been around. His NBA career is of drinking age, 21 years. He's in the argument for greatest of all time with Michael Jordan. Has the noise hurt? It's maybe like polarized some fans against him. And he might have, like, every fan base has like the super fans, right? Every fan base has the stands. All of them. Everyone. And all the greats have haters. That's the way it works. But men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The WNBA would not see this astronomical growth. The attendance would not be through the roof. The college ratings would not have been what they were if people didn't love Caitlin Clark in large. And again, the other games are going up. In fact, I'll bet you this. I bet you the Olympic team sees better ratings than they did last time. I bet you. Because there are more people interested now than were before. Now, will it be as big as if Caitlin Clark was there? That's not what I'm saying. It would be bigger if Caitlin Clark was there. But I think it will be bigger than before because of all of the awareness created by Caitlin Clark and that talking point. You know? Just like, yeah, the Caitlin Clark games are up here and the other WNBA games are down here. But the other WNBA games used to be down here. Now they're up here. That's growth. It doesn't have to be this to be growth. Logician 32 Gaming says he did tell us that from the start. Thank you for recognizing that I am honest with the audience. Well, I mean, I'd be a fool to ignore what has happened with this show and the growth and all the new people who have come in here. Be a fool. I mean, look, that's what the media business in general is about, getting clicks and eyeballs and viewers and rate. You think that's not why people are talking about Caitlin Clark every day? However they're talking about her? That's why. Because they've gotten the data, they've gotten the metrics that show, oh, shit. When we talk about Caitlin Clark, you know, right? Muhammad says, sup. Let me see if I'm. Hey, there we go. Possum5 says, finally a rational YouTuber. I don't know what the rest of the YouTube landscape looks like per se, but, you know, I hope I'm rational, and I'll never lie to the audience. I'm not going to lie. You want to see the Muppet Rage thing from earlier again? It's just people doing this. You know, like that's all most of it is. When really, people are like, let me watch Caitlin Clark play. Oh, Caitlin Clark's in town. Let's go buy tickets and watch Caitlin Clark play. Oh, you want a Caitlin Clark jersey? Let's get you a Caitlin Clark jersey. That's real life. Yeah, in real life, I've had a lot of discussions with people about Caitlin Clark, and none of them were people yelling and screaming and shouting racist slurs or gender slurs or any of those other things. My guy Vadim says, glad you were here for optimism because I'm having a difficult time finding it on my own. Look, I mean, I'm not that optimistic about the Indiana Fever right now. That needs to change. So that's part of it, for sure. But I hope they get Temme Effect Benlay back soon. D-Shoot8 says online trolls are the loudest and aren't the majority. Exactly. I'm not reading some of these hateful comments. She does have fans worldwide. Caitlin Clark is the biggest star in sports right now. Biggest star in sports. What up, Ernesto? Because I didn't even know who I was doing the interpretation of, but if it's the Muppets, it's the Muppets. This is a good point from GH, since the next WNBA CBA will be huge because of Clark. Yeah, I mean, when she came out and said that statement right before the charter flight thing, she said more or less that the CBA was coming up. She's aware of it. And they're going to, I would say, double, triple their rights fees. And then everybody's going to make more money. Money. Duke Lombardi says the growth of the WNBA is families taking their children to games. Look, I'll be real with you. I'd never been to a WNBA game before this year. I took my daughter, AJ. I'll put his comment back up. He's going to 2 games. I'm betting he's never been to a WNBA game before. You think that's all freaking coincidence? TXZ06 says, I have to stop listening to the naysayers justifying why she is not on the Olympic team. How can they say she would bring nothing to the team? Look, that's You get the haters on both. Like, there's always going to be the haters, right? And the turnovers was the first thing, right? Turnovers. Then it's like, they woke a monster because Christy Sides blew up her spot. That's going to happen the rest of her career. It's like LeBron. They call him low whatever in the comments. Low flop, low whatever. Like that's what happens. Unfortunately, I guess, that's what happens. Not that big a deal. But, I mean, Caitlin, if we're being constructive about it, she's got to tighten up her handle. She's got to get that midi and that pull-up. And she's got to learn how to deal with the physicality a bit and be a little physical herself defensively, not get blown by defensively. But she's improving. And, she's had the funny thing about her is she's off to like a historic start, but it could still be spun as a disappointment because of where the hype was. And then you get a game like Friday night where it's like, oh yeah, this is what we're all here to see. Or you get a game like the other night, or the game against the Liberty, or the second of the back-to-back against the Aces, and people use that for their agendas. Cindy Hudson is right that Cece's the only one not talking. Kim Kelly says she totally agrees. Thank you. Trying to make my way through these comments, guys. I'm going to have an only Super Chats show at some point in the future. But no, I mean, I do appreciate. We've got, I think we may be breaking the concurrent viewer record that we broke yesterday. And here I go, like, wondering, see, that's what I think. Like, I wonder, can I come up with a fresh spin on these things? Is it still, how many times? And then all of a sudden, more and more of you every day. So TBD on tomorrow's show, but this ain't going anywhere. Her logo threes brought them, but the talent of the entire WNBA will keep them coming back. And I think most rational people have learned to accept the fact that the other women are talented. You don't have to like them, but I think it's been widely accepted they're talented. Michael Dwight makes a similar point. Caitlin is the catalyst. People now see how many good players there are in the league. Without her, they are still invisible. It's the league responsibility. So, and remember, the league was showing growth before Caitlin. Caitlin's the change agent. She's the explosion. Kevin says if Angel Reese can learn how to dunk, well, she's just got to finish around the rim. Dunking, come on. Is this true that the names Caitlin and Clark are trending? It probably is. This is funny. Doug Developer says, is Brink good? Do you think the WNBA will market her too because she's insanely good looking? Obviously not as good as CC, but can she be the Sharapova to her? I think there's a lot of, I guess this is just personal preference. I find a lot of the other women better looking than Cameron Brink, personally. She's very good defensively. She's got good defensive instinct. She's got really good size. I don't think she's been, when you talk about the rookies who have impressed me the most so far, I would say obviously Caitlin. I think Angel Reese has been quite good if she can start finishing consistently. She's been quite good. I would say Brink's teammate, Rakia Jackson, has maybe been better than her. And Edwards, Aaliyah Edwards from the Mystics. She's really good. She's really talented. I love the way she moves. She moves without the ball, with the ball, always with a boom, explosion and a purpose. With an explosion and a purpose. Hey, Ronnie, is that you? Come here. Come in here for a second. All right, let me see if I can find my way through. This looks like a new commenter. Nick Flicks Photography. If people only watch for CC, if she don't make the playoffs in the finals, I'm sure people will watch. I mean, that's what you want to see is you need some of it to be a holdover. It can't be, it's not good if it's all Caitlin Clark. I thought Ronnie was going to come in here. I was going to have her share her experience at the game. Did I do that yet? I can't scream into this microphone, though. Kevin says he's down for a members-only stream. Would you want to do it tomorrow? I mean, if a topic pops up, I'll definitely do it, a topic tomorrow. But if not, we could do the members-only stream before the game tomorrow. I want to plan, how Kevin and I can do the wrestling thing and how we can best serve this channel. This person says I'm wrong. How am I wrong? Because otherwise, you're just saying stuff. You gotta, when you say somebody's wrong, you gotta tell them how they're wrong. Duke Lombardi says, outside of Caitlin Clark, is the WNBA growth 5 to 10%? I think it's greater than that even. Again, 1 million people watch the the Sun and the Liberty game from this past weekend. You don't want it to only be Caitlin. Even Caitlin Clark fans shouldn't want it to be only Caitlin Clark. I'm telling you, when the books on this are written, when the books on this are eventually written, that will be part of her legacy. I mean, ticket sales are up 156%. I'm sure, a large part of that. This is for the Liberty, okay? I'm looking at an article on the Liberty. So Liberty's home average attendance is 12,586, but they've had 2 Clark games. But even without the Clark games, their non-Clark attendance still sits at an average of 10,593. Last year, that was 7,247. So that's a growth of 3,000 people per game, almost double, almost 50% on non-Clark games for the Liberty, that is. I'd have to look at the data all across the board. There's no doubt, there is no question that the largest growth has come from Caitlin Clark. Nothing else is even close or belongs in the conversation. But that doesn't mean nothing else has grown. That doesn't mean nothing else has grown. Because the league is growing. Stafford, I had this idea, and it's something I should do, especially as this channel goes in this direction, is personal stories, like teaching about some of the other players. Maybe those would work as shorts too, but it's definitely an idea that I've thought of and I have in my pocket, and I appreciate it. I also have another initiative coming probably next week that deals with this, not on this platform, but that will be cross-promotioning. Cross-promotioning, is that a word? Cross-pollinating. So I'm going to be busy. Kev just dropped another super chat. CC entering the W was like when Hulk went to WCW. Well, Hulk Hogan, if for those of you who weren't aware, that was huge. I mean, it wasn't just Hulk Hogan going to WCW, because that gave them some credibility for sure at the time, but that NWO deal was unbelievable. That NWO deal was unbelievable, where when Scott Hall first showed up on TV, people couldn't believe that because they had seen him as Razor Ramon. on WWE TV, WWF at the time, and then Kevin Nash, and then Hulk Hogan becomes Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and then all of a sudden the NWO was the coolest thing in the world. B Goomba says, "Did you see the Booter interview? She thinks the officiating needs to get better and more balanced, like college." Yeah, I saw it. I thought about doing a video from it, but I didn't think there was enough. There wasn't anything that like stood out to me. But she's got Caitlin Clark's back, of course. Duke Lombardi says he's going to Vegas to watch Caitlin July 2nd. Vadim, I did not see Mitchell's response. I think we're past the Olympics thing now. Like, it's time to move past it. Unless Caitlin gets accepted as an alternate, it's time to move past it. Otherwise, just beating a dead horse. Bible Boy says, "So are you separating her from the team she is on? She's a part of the losing." Well, they were the number one pick for a reason, Bible Boy. They had the number one pick for a reason. So, yes, she's a part of the team and a part of the losing. I just said the things she could improve on. Is she dragging the team down? Are they worse because of her? We all understand. I'm not playing agendas, y'all. I'm not doing the agenda game. Don't do it. B Goomba says, "I saw a photo from Nigeria. They're all wearing 22. LOL. Yeah, of course. I look like Alf. I've never heard that before. Am I going to eat a cat for dinner?" And this is true too. I hate that they're speaking of CC fans like the left speaks of Trump supporters. They're also making Clark fans out to be Trump supporters too. And I'm sure some are. But there are many, 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 many Clark fans who are not Trump supporters either. It's all a game. It's all opportunists. This is an interesting point Jose brings up, that Paige will be invited quickly. And there is a UConn posse thing going on with USA basketball. That's definitely exists. Because Candace Parker was once left off, and she thought it was because of Gino Auriemma. And then, Diana Taurasi was like, I got selected after I won 3 championships. Of course, because you were on a stacked squad. Live Life and Grow 420. I wonder if he likes weed. Says, LJ is based on skills. CC is based off popularity. CC's popularity came because of her skills, dog. She's the all-time leading scorer in college basketball history. She took a team to 2 Final Fours that had only been to 1 in program's history before. And I say this is like one of the biggest LeBron fans in the world. But she didn't just, it didn't just happen. Tayo Art says, "Keep watching Homegirl Riches," and she's just getting started. Fans are on the journey, win or lose. Exactly. Are Caitlin Clark fans actually going to stop watching? No. Adam Hurley says they get paid as much as you win on the Family Feud when they win a championship. I don't know what that means exactly, but Kim Kelly says the Fever have had the last 2 number 1 picks and a number 2, but they've not figured. Yeah, look, I think the GM deserves a little scrutiny too. Lynn Dunn, is that her name? She deserves some scrutiny. Well, here's the thing, Troll. It could help if WNBA games didn't overlap with NBA games. Sure. But the good thing is that the summer, they don't. the NBA finals are almost over. And the NBA finals are almost over. Also, what's been taught, that's another part of my point. What's been talked about more? The NBA finals or Caitlin Clark in the WNBA? It's not even close. It's not even close. And then, like, everybody's talking about the fans, delusional fans. They aren't hating on her. They're hating on her fans for saying that she would come into WNBA and dominate. And that was a bold-faced lie. Oh, I mean, yes, every fan base has extremes. Her fan base is freaking huge, massive. So you're going to have some delusional fans amongst that massive group. But also, by the way, Caitlin Clark is doing just fine. Let's not act like she's not doing well. She's off to a historic. She was the fastest player ever to her points and assist totals. Her rookie season is on par with Diana Taurasi's rookie season, who was voted the greatest player of all time. Almost all guards have rough starts in the WNBA. So she can get better. There are things she can improve on. Her team sucks, but we can't also act like she's been a bum. That's just not true. That's just not true. My goodness, guys. So many new people in here every day. Bill Du, how many WNBA players play for another country? We have someone from China on Sparks anymore. I'm not sure. I'd have to, look that up. But the international game is not caught up like it has in the NBA or with the men. Bryce says she got crushed that last game. I don't know about that. And the game before that, she went the hell off for 30 points and hit 7 threes. I mean, yeah. And by the way, last game, the whole team sucked in the last game. It was a terrible, disgusting performance I never want to see again. The tape should be burned. But if it wasn't for that little air ball that she shot, no one would be even talking about the game she had. No one would be talking about it. What they like to do is pick the ones that she doesn't do well with to try to dunk on her. Again, like the Liberty game that I went to, which I knew she was going to stink in that game because it was their, their 11th game in 20 days and the second of a back-to-back. Same thing with the Aces game, a back-to-back after she had a really good game the day before. It's just been rough scheduling because she had a really good game the day before the Aces game, then a rough game in the back-to-back. But everybody, because it was such a quick turnaround, didn't get to talk about the really good game. And then she had the explosive, great game against the Mystics, but nobody wound up talking about it because the Olympic thing happened right after that. So everybody went and talked about the Olympic thing, and that was followed up by a poor game from the team. So everybody used that for their little agendas. When on large, I mean, look, we could just look it up. Caitlin Clark. Numbers so far this season. Let's just have a look-see, shall we? She is averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists, and 1.5 steals. Shooting 37% from the floor, not great. 33% from 3, not great. But certainly not out of line with previous rookies at her position. And let's just look at the overall leaderboard. Caitlin Clark is currently 15th in the WNBA in scoring. There are only 14 players averaging more points than her. And if you look at even with the shooting percentages, right? Like Kelsey Plum is averaging more points, but shooting a lower percentage. Jewel Lloyd is averaging more points, but shooting a lower percentage. Arike Agumbawale is averaging more points, but shooting a lower percentage. Arike is taking 24 shots per game, right? So let's say Arike is averaging 26 points on 24 shots per game. Caitlin is averaging 16 points on 13 shots a game. So almost double the shot attempts. 13 to 24, almost double. So let's do the math. I'll take away the 0.3, 16 times 2, and we'll take 1 point off that, and it should be. Caitlin Clark would be averaging 31 points per game if she had the same number of shot attempts as Arike. And that's just points. But also her field goal percentage is not out of line. Tarazi's right next to her in points per game this year, and they have the same field goal percentage. So of the people ahead of her, 1, 2, 3, 4 have a lower shooting percentage. 4 of the 14 ahead of her. And the ones that don't are almost all bigs. Then we'll go to assists, where Caitlin Clark is currently number 4 in the entire WNBA. Only Alyssa Thomas, Natasha Cloud, Jackie Young are averaging more assists per game than Caitlin Clark is. So I'm supposed to say that's bad? I'm supposed to lie? Should I lie? You want me to lie? I could lie and say it's bad. I could lie. Ghost of whatever that says. Michael Jordan's first year with Chicago, they went 38 and 44. Michael Jordan has never won a playoff series without Scottie Pippen. Never in his career. He got beat by the Pistons 3 out of 4 times before he finally beat them. He never beat Larry Bird and the Celtics in a playoff series. Michael Jordan's career was longer than 6 years long. Hey, look, a rational point from Deuce B. She's a rookie on one of the worst teams in the league. There's going to be ups and downs. She's also facing more attention than anyone. And I want to say, Bryce, Aaliyah Boston got a double-double in garbage time. Aaliyah, who seems like a really nice, I want them to do well. Aaliyah Boston had a terrible game in that game. It wasn't until the end of the game when they were feeding her that she kind of stuffed her stats a little bit. That's just true. She was awful in that game. Mr. Fancy Pants says Paige is going to end up with the Mystics to reteam with Aaliyah Edwards. Aces have lost 3 in a row. Nobody says Jack. Well, they did win a couple championships, so that does buy you a little leeway. They need Chelsea Gray back, too. This is interesting. Chuck C says Clark fans are Trump fans. Great way to get your ass kicked is to wear a MAGA hat in Iowa City. I mean, again, I think it's like, you know, it's people who are opportunists. I want to see, you know, them play faster. I mean, this is a good point from BK Barth. Clark top 20 in scoring, assists, blocks, and steals, but she sucks as a rookie while facing more defensive attention than anybody else in the league of any position. This person says, again, Angel Reese will have a better career. She's more built. Look, I like Angel. I don't dislike Angel Reese. I think if Angel Reese starts finishing layups better, she's going to be really, really good. I like Angel. I got no issues with Angel Reese. I can root for Caitlin Clark and like Caitlin Clark and appreciate what Caitlin Clark has done and also not hate Angel Reese. Jerome Lane says, I've been watching WNBA from the very beginning. Asia Wilson will be the GOAT when she's done. Look, Asia is unbelievable. She's got this buttery touch. She moves so fluidly up and down the floor. I love Asia's game. She just doesn't. The thing about Clark's game, and it's brought up in here by Ann T.S. Shop, I haven't seen anybody else in the WNBA shooting step back threes. And it's that dynamic aspect, that exciting aspect of Clark's game that you can't explain. People are drawn to her game. It is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, I think that's I like, that's the crux of it. That there's just something about her game that's exciting. Like if you watch the game against the Mystics, you saw it. That's the closest I think we've seen it. And the one against the Sparks too. Like her passing is exciting too. She's just exciting to watch. How do I talk about Angel Reese, Drizzy Drez, or Dez, that you doubt it? I've been mostly complimentary of Angel Reese. I've been constructive in how I think she can get better. There's certain things she said I haven't liked, which is okay. I'm not gonna I don't hold a grudge because you made a quote I didn't like one time. I don't hate you for life. I just said what I thought about it and I moved on. As Kevin Fitzgerald said, Angel Reese and CeCe on the same team would be something to see. That's one of the great ironies of it, is together they would fit so well. And then somebody's, you want to laugh about the Mystics, Bible boy, but the Fever were the worst team in the league last year. Who are we supposed to hold them up against? Are they supposed to be beating the Aces and the Sun and the Liberty right now? TLC 19791 says people who say Caitlin is slow, it's because Indiana as a team plays slow tempo. Yeah, they need to pick it up. Mike D'Antoni should be the coach. That's what I said. Not literally Mike D'Antoni because he's old or whatnot and has bad back, but Mike D'Antoni's spirit. And Jerome Lane says, yeah, the Steph Curry. I mean, people love watching Steph Curry play. And there have been other really good shooters, but there haven't been shooters who shot the ball the same way as Caitlin, the same style. The same pizzazz. Or the deep, Caitlin's deep three is also different. Like, she's actually shooting a higher percentage on her deep threes than she is on the threes closer to the line. Oh, man, this is fun, guys. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. All in here on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, TBD on tomorrow. I don't know if there will be a live stream. If a topic emerges, I will do a live stream. But if no topic emerges, I'll do a reaction to the game. I mean, I'll do a reaction to the game either way. But I could also possibly do a members only stream. If it doesn't work for you guys tomorrow, let me know. If it does, I want to do like a show planning meeting with the diehards at one point. I wasn't yelling for the wife. I was yelling for my daughter. But I can see if she'll come. Hang on 1 second. Maybe that's a good way to, starting to close. Hold on 1 second. You guys can yell at each other in the comment section for a second. Hey, Ronnie? Ronnie! Come here. Come on the show real quick. You're going to come on the show. Come on, hurry. My show. Come on. Hoopers love CC. Most haters aren't Hoopers. Here's Ronnie. Come on. Butters, shut up. Stop. Let me take Butters out of here. Let me mic you up. You want to start talking about what you saw at the Liberty and Fever game? What did you see?
I saw Clayton Clark.
Yeah.
Jones.
John Paul Jones, that's right.
Sabrina.
That's right.
Um,
So that's good. And what were you doing in the driveway last night?
last night,
Yeah.
I was telling Grandpa and Grandpa what I wanted.
No. Last night with me in the driveway after dark.
Oh, I was practicing my basketball shots.
Yeah. You want to be a basketball player now?
I don't know.
You like soccer though, right?
Yeah.
And you like basketball. But you like basketball more now that you went to the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to get some basketball sneakers?
Yeah.
Okay, you can go now. Do whatever you're doing.
I was watching TV.
You were watching TV.
Of course I was.
You love watching TV, I know.
How do I open this door?
Go ahead.
Oh, you put a lock.
That's Ronnie. So I think Raj made an appearance last night. I don't know if Big Ro is is here. He's made an appearance. They'll all make an appearance at some point. All you got to do is get in the lab. I got them in the lab, Bryce. I'm a hooper myself. And I'm actually teaching a class at their school on basketball this fall, and I coach and everything. But Stafford, this is a good question. Have you noticed that b-ball players who played soccer as a kid have better court view and passing skills? They're the same sport. Soccer and basketball are the same sport. So I think that is translatable. Like people who see the floor like that can play both sports. They can play both sports. And look, all it took. I watch this. Let me show you something. Look at these comments all of a sudden, right? Like you, instead of all this hating and stuff, it's like ceasefire, right? Angel, LOL, so cute. Hello, beautiful girl. I envy you. You watch Caitlin live. A heart emoji. Let's be nice for this moment. So get her a 22 Fever jersey. That's awesome. And I started the show with that, right? Like when you saw those kids with Caitlin, the Caitlin Clark little kid, basically what I started the show with. Caitlin out there working with the kids, right? That's the growth of the game right there.
I think you're going to win.
Okay, I'm ready.
Travel. Good travel.
She's also one of our mentors, so she helps.
That's the growth of the game right there. It is. And the Angel Reese little girl. I'm gonna play it again because I could never get tired of this. Like, you can feel however you feel about a certain player. Well, actually, let me first take a look at Angel Reese's pregame outfit from tonight. I'm gonna share that for fashion purposes. Fashion. So like the people who said the Cameron Brink thing, like I prefer Angel Reese, just if I'm being honest. Here's the Angel Reese and Rakia Jackson, by the way. This was the moment I'm talking about from the beginning.
Okay, my plan is to get Angel Reese to touch my sweater. Perfect. Now I'm never going to watch this ever again.
That is the growth of the game. Ronnie is the growth of the game. That's the growth of the game. It's not people yelling online about Caitlin Clark. It's not whatever you're like. I'm telling you, that's the theme of this show. And I think that, took it home a little bit. This is not imaginary. You know, like the attendance is not imaginary. The ratings are not imaginary. These kids coming into the game are not imaginary. And they're not yelling at and screaming at each other about nonsense. Christopher Neely says you all are becoming more rational. That is a good first step. I'm doing the Bible boys work here. And Jerome Lane says WNBA is having its magic bird moment that the NBA experienced. Still a young league. The NBA is like 76 years old. Patience. I mean, yeah, that's true. Right? Like that the NBA finals were on tape delay, y'all. They were on tape delay. And it took that. Like Mike Kickbush asked, why did it wait for CC for the growth? That's what it takes, that figure. I mean, for the NBA, it was really as simple. It was Magic and Bird followed by Jordan. And things were never the same. I think your theme for the show ate some magic mushrooms and is just seeing pretty colors. The nightmare is soon to. I don't understand. Were you with Aaron Rodgers? Skipping Jets camp? I think that's where you must have been. And then my 420 fella says, let's take a deep breath. Inhale, 420 guy. Whoosah. Yeah. I mean, that is true. Inhale, exhale. It's all going to be okay. Everyone, please hit the like and subscribe button. You can comment later if you would also like. I do appreciate most of, or almost every, I appreciate all of y'all. I mean, I do. It's been fun to see this grow and see this happen. I'm just doing my part. And like I said, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I saw that this was something people were coming to me for. So I continued to bring it. And it's obviously been working. And obviously there's an audience for it. And I hope y'all are getting what you wanted from it. And it seems like everybody is. So thank you all for being a part of this journey. Like I said, I should have some news on the expansion of my coverage of this starting next week that will be separate from this channel. Changes nothing about what I'm doing here. They should hopefully help each other. I'll see if a story emerges tomorrow, I'll do a show. If not, I'll do just a post-game reaction. But if we want to do a members-only show, we could do that. And I said, like, I'm not ruling it out. I just don't want to do. I don't want to do a watch-along. So, I love the live chats as well, Stafford. It's fun. It's exciting, right? Like, I've always tried to interact with my audience in every platform. By the way, I'll be on. I'm in for Michelle Beadle next Tuesday on Sirius XM from noon to 3. I'll be on with Cody Decker next Tuesday from noon to 3 on Sirius XM. So you'll be able to catch me there as well. Obviously, check back here every day for the content, live stream or not. A piece from AJ Schreiber, a piece to all of y'all. And I will bid you adieu with it for my wrestling fans. And just because I like saying it, and it's really an ode to my son, Raj. Yeet.